Dang, I wanted to do this in horizontal. Welcome. The fuck? All right, I'll get after it anyway. Okay, let's get you guys first. I think I'll take you over onto this side because this is where all the action is. How's everybody doing today? Back for some more Massey Ferguson redneck rock and roll wrenching. All right, let's see what you're looking at here. Let's get you over here. It's not bad. All right, what we're going to begin with is I want to tighten these bolts up. We had loosened those off to give me some clearance so I could drop the oil pan way back a few weeks ago. You were here for that. And that seemed to have been a good strategy. Anyways, I want to get the engine and that frame member lined up again so that I can put these through bolts in, which hold the oil pan to the frame. So we'll tighten those up on both sides. These are finger tight. I'm going to run around and do the same on the other side. My apologies, yesterday's live streams did not, or at least the first one I did in the afternoon didn't really upload. So you hear things coming together on this side. I'm not worried about trying to do both sides evenly. Because these bolts are started. It's not like I have to line anything up. All right. So I had done the disassembly. I showed you guys this neat little snap-on tool that I got in my toolbox. It came in a box of tools I bought at auction. But it basically turns your breaker bar, which doesn't have any ratcheting action, into a ratcheting breaker bar. Forward and reverse. So that's a nifty tool. You can find yourself one of those, stick it in your toolbox. So I'm gonna run around, tighten the other side, and then I'll be back and we'll go underneath, torque down all these bolts that I couldn't get done. Well, actually, we'll have to put those through bolts in, tighten those up, and then go around and tighten everything down that I left just snug yesterday. We'll torque them down. And so the rain has stopped. Some bright sunny days you can see here in southern Manitoba. Was not expecting any rain last night or this morning, but it just rains for the heck of it now. We didn't get much, just enough to make things soggy. And as well, expecting my butcher to come because we're going to be taking care of my last piggy out back. Send him off to the meat shop. Okay, for whatever reason, that's a different size bolt. Do I have the right one here? Maybe. Tighten these up. And we'll snug these up without the little nifty tool because I don't want to break that. And not really doing any kind of torque specification on these, just as tight as I can get them with this bar. This bar will break before those bolts ever do. That's about all I'm going to put on there. All right. Now, let's see if these line up now. Still got a few thousandths of an inch to go. Let's see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to back off this jack a bit. Does that make any difference? Okay, so I'm thinking maybe if I snug all these up, that'll help line those bolts up. So we'll start doing that. So, see the actual ratcheting. So just going all the way around, skipping everyone. Just do every second bolt snug. And work our way around again. These are just those short bolts that hold the oil pan to the block. How's everybody doing this morning? I'll just give them a final tighten and Grunthal foot-pounds, 20, 25 foot-pounds or so. These don't have to be they gotta be tight, but 200-pound gorilla strength tight. So these bolts can snap. And I'm not interested in doing any bolt extractions on a live stream. Makes for a long day. Alright, just good and tight. So, here's our line up here. A little bit more. So what I'm going to do, here's my jack. Underneath the oil pan. It's a cast iron oil pan. It's got to be 3/8 to 7/16 inch thickness. So I'm going to jack up on the pan itself. There's a block in here. The frame of the engine, or the frame of the tractor, is being supported by the tractor wheels. And by lifting on the oil pan, I'm essentially lifting the engine away. Well, I'm going to have to loosen those big nasty bolts I just torqued them. Get some play in there. loosen those off just a little bit. Because this whole piece here, this piece of the frame, is what I need to get to. It's all connected to that big bolt that's going through the oil pan. This guy here. So really the oil pan and transmission is essentially part of the frame. Okay, so I'll loosen off the other side a little bit. See, that gave us a little bit of wiggle room. Oh, yeah, I feel like it's almost there. Okay, so cranking on the jack. That one's through. There's a bolt. And that one's through. There you go. This one has a lock washer. Was it on there before? This way. I can reach the other side from underneath here. Okay, those I'll tighten up off camera, just for time's sake, because those, we're not going to be moving the tractor anywhere. So what do we got left? This one to torque down. Oh, those three torque down too. So you can see some of the silicone is pushing out at the sides here. This one didn't cross thread. Let's pull that out and see. This should be going in a lot easier. bolt up here and 2 more at the very bottom. They're different size. I think those are 1 inch. Shout out to Massey Ferguson. And the torque spec on these are just good and tight. What is this? Get these ones up here. So I got a couple right on the bottom. That's not the right size. What size are those? What is this? 1 inch? Oh, maybe I didn't bring the right wrench out. So anyways, I'll show you this bolt here. Getting awful tight to get that in there, this guy here. So I'm just gonna leave it for now. We're not gonna leak any oil out of that portion of the oil pan. And I'll probably take a tap and just chase the threads, make sure it's good. So I don't wanna cross thread it too deeply in there. If it is cross-threaded, or maybe it's just dirty threads or something. And then, yeah, so we'll tighten all these up off camera. See, thought I had the right wrench with me. I guess I don't. There's 7/8 or something. What's this? Okay, I guess I didn't bring that one out, but I don't expect any oil to come out of that portion anyway, and that's all I'm worried about is oil leaking out of the this area here. So all this here is just heavy steel for the case. So if anything, oil would leak here only, but it's not going to leak out of any of these bolts because they're not part of the oil pan. They're on the outside flange. So the next step is to raise you guys up here. Some stuff on the top side here. Driving by. Who's that? Who that? I'm gonna have to go all the way up. Busy day. We're dealing with Piggy, we're working on the tractor, and then I gotta run to the city. Pick up a trailer later today. So we're moving and grooving. So let's see, what are you guys looking at now? All right. So yeah, that's not bad at all. Just reposition it a bit. It's got somewhat of an angle. So now we're gonna stick some oil down all these spark plug holes. And I don't really have a funnel that could reach in there. I didn't want to start monkeying around with making hoses and whatnot to make an extension for the funnel. So I'm just gonna take literally a teaspoon or a tablespoon and try to drop some oil down those spark plug holes. So it's a mechanics tool. 7/16 tablespoon. Measure across the handle here. Actually gonna work. Alright. I have to do a 1/4-inch teaspoon here. Okay, I think somewhat down there. I'm more just dripping than actually going in the holes. Sun is going down there. Yeah, a teaspoon would have been the right tool. Just a little too wide. And the reason I'm doing that is the engine's been sitting for a while without the spark plugs in it, because when I'm turning it over by hand, I don't want compression in the cylinders. It makes it harder to turn, and who knows, the thing just might start up while you're cranking it by hand, and that makes for a bad day as well. I could literally break bones or serve as a reminder to have your last will and testament all it's something to discuss, I guess. So I know some people look at what I'm doing and it's like, oh yeah, neat, Farmer Brent and doing this stuff, but you always have to think ahead. So what you're doing, like, can this kill me or seriously injure me? Especially on a farm, like there's so many opportunities to die every day. And I don't want to turn this into a lecture about death. Everybody dies, but dying by stupidity is not the thing to do. But yeah, the close calls and whatnot, so you kind of really have to use the the folds in your brain from time to time when you're working on stuff on a farm. A buddy of mine, he's been farming his whole life, and he was working on a piece of equipment, some kind of disc bind or something, but there were some spring-loaded components in there, and he needed to weld something back together, and he was loosening off a bolt, and one of those preloaded springs snapped something against his arm, just about broke his wrist. I don't think it broke, but it could happen that fast, like lightning speed. Before you even know what happened, you're on the ground. So, I mean, that thing could have knocked you in the head or working around animals. I just about, I got kicked at when I was working at the auction just below my rib cage by must have been about 1,000-pound bull. Just a little guy, but mean and ornery. And he kicked me through a gate. So a well-placed shot, but if he had gone any higher, like he could easily have kicked up to my head level. If he had got me square in the forehead, I mean, and I didn't even see it coming. So fortunately, only just knocked the wind out of me. We're working on a Super90 here, Steven, 1965. It has, just to give you some background for those of you just tuning into the channel, it has a nasty rod knock from what I can diagnose, and I think it's the bushings and the wrist pins. So I just took the oil pan off a few weeks ago to see how much play was in the rods. I thought it might have been the rod bearings, and I'm pretty sure that knock is coming from cylinder 4 wrist pin, because seemed to be an excessive amount of play, you know, up and down, being able to jiggle it. The other 3 weren't terrible, but I think it's just a 1-cylinder rod knock. So now I'm putting it back together. My house is sold, so this old girl is going to auction, but I just want to be able to get it running to drive onto a trailer. And so, yeah, okay, we got our oil plug in place. I had inspected the oil filter last year, cleaned it out, and so we're not concerned about the oil filter today. I think it's just a matter of filling this girl up with oil, and the clouds moved in. Nice and shady now. Gearing up to be a warm one again today. It's all right. Where's my funnel setup? Right here. Right behind you guys. So this is hard to reach, so I just made a little extension out of a piece of conduit. Just gonna wipe the funnel out, make sure it's clean. And yeah, totally gotta apologize for yesterday's live stream. The first one I did in the afternoon completely got cut off. And the reason was I had you right underneath because I was putting the connecting rod caps back on. And for whatever reason, I'm just far enough away from the house that the Wi-Fi doesn't help. And I guess there's so much iron in the way of my data signal, it wasn't able to upload to YouTube. So, oh man, this is heavy. Okay, let's climb up here. Okay, what are you guys looking at here? I'll lift you guys up too. Just so you can see a little better what's going on. Just lay a rag down to catch any drips, which I'm kind of expecting. This engine takes 6 liters of oil. And this jug has 10 liters in it. So let's see if we can prop everything up. I could do this with 2 hands. Well, going too fast. All that oil is just falling on my piece of plywood I got that I'm laying down on. Kind of wasting oil. It's the best angle I can get it. But the oil was cheap enough. My neighbor had a couple of cans he bought at auction, so I got this for like $10 a gallon or $20 a gallon. Actually going into the oil fill tube. Seems to be. But yeah, farm accidents are no joke. Whether it's a a wild animal or an animal gone wild that turns on you, or a piece of equipment that does something you weren't expecting, or I mean, one of the biggest injuries on farms is using rebar sticking out of the ground as a fence post. Those are like having pikes in your yard. They're just ready to pierce you through your center of mass there if you hit them right with all your weight. So lots of rebar related incidents when it comes to farm injuries and accidents. Hydraulic oil can be nasty, vicious as well. Hydraulic systems. Okay, and I guess the other consideration with this repair, we're gonna bump the starter right away, see if everything's ready to start up, and then I'll put the spark plugs back in, see if it'll fire up. But this battery's been sitting since last fall, so I don't have a ton of confidence that it's gonna just start up or run right away, so I might have to bring the truck over and boost it. I was thinking last night I should put it on a charger, but it's a long day yesterday, so at a certain point you just say shut her down. So I think, oh, where are we at? Yeah, that might be enough. Let's check our level. I think I started with 10 liters. Maybe it was 8. No, I think it was 10. All right. Okay, it's right in the range. I'll top it up to maximum. Off camera. You get the point. So now, let's just see, we're all in neutral. I'm not gonna bother pushing the clutch in. So I don't think this battery's gonna do me. Yeah, deader than dirt. Must have had the foresight to disconnect it, which I don't think so. So I'm gonna go pull the truck up. I think I can reach with my short cables from the other side. So you stay put. Okay, we're gonna watch the battery now. Yeah, so I had turned the switch on. There's nothing doing. Let me get some of the stuff that's on top off of here. Oh yeah, little note of interest. I did find a booger in the bottom of the oil pan. So I don't know if that's new damage or if that's part of the oil pan itself or part of a piston, because turning it over, everything sounds nice and smooth. I wasn't seeing any scraping. The cylinder walls that I could feel from underneath weren't nasty, but yeah, there's a big chunkaroni of something in there. So hang out, talk amongst yourselves, and I'm gonna bring the truck up. We'll be right back. I might be able to get a little closer if I have to. This should be just about enough. Oh yeah, that's a pretty nasty terminal here. I don't bother to clean that off. That should be a half decent ground. Bare steel. All right. Okay, let's see if we got anything now. All right. I think I'm gonna run the truck for a bit, let this battery charge up, and then we'll try it in a couple of minutes. So while we're waiting, how about we run to the house? Start looking at coffee. Now think that's a good idea. So I'm going to set you up right here. I just have to go turn the stove on for my hot water. And let that water boil and pour that over my McDonald's coffee grounds. That'll just take a couple of minutes. Yeah, thanks, Dad. Very funny. Very funny. Well, good morning and welcome in. How are you doing this morning? I got a few people watching. Unedited, rock and roll, redneck wrenching. I don't know if people are interested in this. Actually, there were a bunch of you who were watching last night when I put that oil pan back together. So I don't know if the hashtags are working or the shorts that I do as a preview are working. Lots of views, but I guess what the YouTube algorithm is looking for is comments and engagement. So thumbs up, thumbs down. Again, it's not to grow the biggest YouTube channel. I'm just curious how it works to see if there's cause and effect. So we'll see. If I say like, comment, subscribe, share, save, if anybody does that, one, and if you do that, whether it makes any difference. Found the glasses. Well, there you go. And dang it, I was gonna stream this one in horizontal because there was some grumbling last night. But I think I gave you good angles. You could see pretty much what I was doing there. You know, if you need to see the socket right on the bolt head, well, I'm gonna have to invest in some camera equipment because the iPhone while streaming doesn't like being twisted one way or the other. And like I say, trying to stream from under this big hunk of iron wasn't really doing the job. So it didn't really make sense to try to drag the tractor closer to the house just so I could have Wi-Fi. All right, well, hopefully it turns over with no clicking, clacking, knocking, seizing, carnage, grenading. And then I'll put the spark plugs back in and see if we could get it to fire it up. The other thing I haven't checked is if there's any water in the gas. If it doesn't start up, that could be the problem. Like this tractor usually starts pretty easily, but with all the condensation, like it's been sitting since last winter. I should actually check if there's any gas in it. Haven't even done that. But if it doesn't start, it's a gasoline related issue. I just want to make sure it's cranking over, and if it's cranking over, I'll get it started. So we'll have part 4. And once I do that, there's a sediment bowl that catches all the nasties that are in the gas tank. That gas tank it's not rotten, but it's old. Like it's hard to remove the gas tank because the steering wheel shaft, or the steering shaft that connects from the steering wheel to the power steering pump way up at the front, goes through the dang gas tank. It's not one of those U-shaped ones. It literally goes right through the center of it. So that's That's a big chore. I've never taken the gas tank right off. I've cleaned it in place. Makes it more tedious when you don't get to listen to music while you work. Copyright help. Well, yeah, I don't know. I can work without music. Usually I've got YouTube malarkey going on as I'm walking around the yard, but I'm gonna go check on my water, pour my coffee, and then we'll go see what's happening with the tractor. Fresh oversized cup of coffee. 1 cup at a time. Number 4 cone filter. So while that's making its way through those precious grounds of coffee, creating the elixir of life, what did one guy say? I heard this church story one time where after the service had ended, the speaker said, "So now let us depart to the lobby and partake of the elixir of the gods," indicating it was coffee time. So. All right, so we're just gonna bump the starter, get a little bit of oil on those cylinder walls. I dumped some oil on there. Right on. So the battery is still very weak. So we'll let it charge up for a while. Take a walk, maybe have a sip of coffee. Should be almost ready. But yeah, it's turning over nice and smooth, so nothing's binding in there. But it should be a much more rapid cranking. Oh, I gotta get some more water. So. Okay, I'm gonna put you guys back down in your little cradle here in the tripod. Go get my pot of water. Farmall had a glass tube sediment filter, sold it a few years ago. The oil is, well, that's my diesel truck running. So yeah, the injectors are all controlled by oil pressure. So I think that one's going to need the injectors redone at some point. So I've got the old Motorcraft injectors from my parts truck. The previous owner had replaced a couple injectors in this one, but I never pulled the injectors. So I don't know if he put Ford factory injectors in or what, but I was going to rebuild all 8 of the ones I have sitting in my cupboard, and then at some point slap them in. So It's a little bit of stuff to disassemble on top to get to the valve covers, but once you're under the valve covers and pulled the injector harness off, it's really super simple to get the injectors swapped out. So, it's very tedious doing the rebuilds of the injectors, but when I retired that other truck, it was running good other than the head issue. So, I mean, I could just slap them in the way they are, but if you've got them, why not just rebuild them on the bench? I don't think those kits are too costly. So what's going on with this coffee? Union brake. I wish I could get in the union. The Farmers Union, the People's Union, the Soviet. Well, there is no more Soviet Union. Is it a Badger? Is this a Badger Union brake? That's what we're playing with. Charging the battery on the tractor. Gonna slap the spark plugs in a few minutes. Cross our fingers and see if she fires up. So, yeah, this coffee is just taking forever here. Hey. Ooh, tweaker coffee. That's it. That's the stuff. No Folgers for this guy. McDonald's grounds all the way. Ooh. Mm. Yeah. The elixir of the gods. All right, the 20-minute smoke break is almost up here. So we'll let this coffee rest for a few minutes. Just mellow out. As we go for a walk, turn the diesel off. Just because it's noisy. This thing's still charging. Yep. Oh yeah. A little bit of some Master of Reality. For those of you who caught the latest music hall video, was it Sunday night I did? Monday? I don't even know. What day is it today? It's Wednesday? Okay, let's get you around here. What are we looking at? Spark plug holes, 1, 2, 3, 4. These go in dry, no lubrication on the threads or nothing. Start them by hand. Plop. That one had some legs and jumped all the way under the tractor. I hope the wasps didn't build a nest underneath this cover. All right, so I think these are 7/8 sockets, but I'm going to use a 22 millimeter. Fooling with that cowl. Another pro tip, rather than try to work around in a tight area, use extensions. Oh, already. Did I cross thread him? Just snug. These don't have to be 200-pound gorilla reefing down on the end of this ratchet. That's totally not necessary. Well, 30-40 foot-pounds, somewhere in there, not even. Snug, so okay. Spark plug wires back on. One, two, three, four. Sometimes on your distributor cap it'll say which cylinder goes to which plug, but I just laid them in an orientation when I pulled it apart that I could see exactly where they go back. All right, let's hop up top, pull the choke. Give it a little gas, see what happens here. Battery's still just dead. Okay, I'll start up the truck and see if that helps. I'm sure I got a good around here. This connection's kind of nasty too. Let's see if we can just knock some of the boogers off of here. The cable is tight. Okay, that's maybe a little better. So there you have it, part 3. That battery is going to need to charge up. Actually, what we'll do, so we'll pull the battery out a little bit and put the jumper cable on that other terminal. This battery might be roasted as well. See if that made any difference. Yeah, that battery might be at the end of its life. I don't know if you can see this. Whoop. Get out of here. Still going. So the sides of the battery are starting to bulge out. So that's indicating that the battery had froze. Really should have pulled it in at the end of last season. Kept it in the garage, but I didn't. The thing is, I don't know if I have any spare batteries sticking around. I had a good car battery. I already took it to the auction mart, so. That should charge up enough that I can start it. But I'd like to have it for sale with a half decent battery. But if not, somebody else's problem. Good morning, buddy. Hey, pal. How you doing, pal? Friend? Yeah, so I think we'll call that part 3 done. So part 4 will be starting it up. So I'll check the gasoline situation. I'll make sure that battery is charged. But it's together, it's cranking over. Switch batteries with your truck. I guess. I mean, I'm not going to do that right now. I think my time's it's 11 o'clock. I think my butcher guy is supposed to be showing up pretty much any time now. So I gotta make sure he's set up. I gotta get a little cleaned up. Well, I'll let him do all the work. Normally I'd be butchering the pig myself, but I'm not interested in making more work for myself at this point. So I'm just gonna keep the ribs for myself, and the rest is going for sausage, except for the shoulders. A buddy of mine wants the shoulder meat to make his own sausage, and then some pork chops for my neighbor. And yeah, the rest is just going to be ground up into sausage. So, not going to make any bacon this time around. It's expensive getting the butcher to do it. He makes good bacon, but it's probably an extra $2 a pound or something. I didn't even ask what he's charging to cut it up. Normally I do all the processing myself. It's just a ton of work, and I'm not set up to do that kind of stuff right now. So he'll vacuum seal everything. He'll vacuum seal the sausage, and we'll just butcher wrap the rest of the cuts, butcher paper. So just quick and easy, and whatever it costs, that's what it costs. In the past, you know, I was delighted to save tons of money making my own sausage, my own bacon. When it came to a pig, I usually just cut like the shoulder in two and have two nice roasts. Cut the leg, like the hams, in two, have two nice big roasts, and just slow roast in the oven. And have leftovers for several meals. And then I'd do the whole bacon thing and sausage and grind it up and wrap all the different cuts, and it's a ton of work. So I'm not into that. Good morning, Jody. How are you doing today? So thank you all for tuning in. You can hang out here for a little while and see if Butcher Boy shows up. I don't know if he was supposed to text before he comes or what. Haven't got any messages, so I don't know if that's good or bad. And that's that. So yeah, a lot of running around throughout the rest of the day. Once the butcher leaves, I gotta get cleaned up, head to the city, make a couple of deliveries, some items I got for sale on Marketplace. Got some eager buyers. They're just ready to give me their monies. And picking up a trailer so I could start hauling crap out of here. Yeah, let's go for a little walk and show you the task at hand here. So, that's the signal. So yeah, the lights are off in the garage. This was remnants of the garage sale, so there's tools. It's my little shop of horrors here. So all this needs to be just fired into boxes, fired onto a trailer, taken out of here. It's a bunch of stuff in the yard. Some stuff is just going to the dump. Building materials and whatnot. So again, that's whatever is sellable is going to go to the auction. I hope I didn't scare anybody by what I just showed you. My work is cut out for me, so I got till September 15th to get that all hauled away. There's a little bit of furniture left in the house, but not much. House just needs a light cleaning, because I did a deep cleaning when we took pictures for the real estate listing. Oh no, I've been sipping on it. Yeah, I don't get overwhelmed by stuff like this. Like this is all doable. It's having to deal with the wife and my parents, that stuff is overwhelming. When people all around you are losing your minds and you're not, it's sort of, you just don't fit in. And then there's, I guess, always the concern of my Bad Badger token account, so that's a major concern. But yeah, this is easy. I once I get going on that, it's sort of all the prep work. I got to get the trailer, I have to line up the auctioneer, I have to get a hold of the butcher. You know, once all those things are set up, and then I can just execute. It's a lot of work, but it's not to me. I'm getting like a 18 or 20 foot skid steer trailer, and you know, that's 1 or 2 loads with the trailer. 2 loads anyway. The guy showed up this week to haul my scrap metal, so that's done, dealt with, and he's gonna haul the tractor once it's running off to the auction. He's got a nice big flat deck for hauling equipment. I could probably do it with the skid steer trailer as well, but then there's another big item we wanted to do it all in one load, so he's willing to do that, so I'll probably just pay him to do that. So it's all doable. It was a little overwhelming when the purchasers of this place, they wanted possession for September 1st, when in their original offer it was September 15th. And you know, that's really one of the reasons I took their offer, is because they gave such a generous time frame. Because we signed the agreement like July 24th, accepting their offer. So that gave me a good month and a half. But then they tried to bump it up to the 1st. I'm like, well, I can do the 1st if, you know, I had to put conditions. If you let me have access to the property, because there's no way I'm going to have this cleaned up in a month. So that extra 2 weeks, that's like an eternity for me. I'm not going to procrastinate and leave it till the last minute. Now that everything is structured and lined up, I can just work at it and take care of it. It's like I had called that scrap guy locally. He's in town here, and he came for the first load like a month ago. But then he's a farmer too. He's got hay he was cutting, and the weather wasn't great for that. And he's like me. He's doing mechanic work in his shop and stuff like that. And so he's busy. And so I'm like, when are you coming for the next load? He's like, maybe next week. So it was like a month between the 2 loads to haul away. I'm like, get this stuff out of here. Like, the sooner this is out, the sooner I can clean up the rest. So I'm glad that's gone, done with. And so that's that. But like I say, once I have everything organized up here, it's just a matter of doing the work, and that's the easy part. Same with this tractor. I was agonizing. Do I start ordering parts and try to fix it? And it's like, no, I just want to get it running and sell it as is running. If there's a rod knock, like, I don't think it just went away. Probably could have used an oil change anyway, but it's caffeine and nicotine over matter at some points. I guess my little chicken pea brain factors in at times as well. But yeah, stuff like that doesn't stress me out or overwhelm me. It's all the prep work, you know, making all the phone calls, setting things up, ensuring that you've got people committed to show up when they say they're going to show up and do what they said they were going to do. That's what irks me the most. Nowadays, I don't know what it is. People just don't do what they said they were going to do. That's I think my greatest stressor in life. You set something up, arrange something for someone, and and they just ghost you or bail on you and don't give you a reason, or there's no reasonable explanation as to what's going on. They just don't follow through. Moved in May and June. I've been exhausted since. I mean, I've been exhausted for the last 4 months, but just living and doing what I'm doing, for the last 5+ years has been tending to animals continually. That gets exhausting. So after getting off of this property, it's going to be kind of vacation time. I haven't really taken a break since we moved in here 7 years ago. We haven't gone traveling, taking a vacation. When you've got animals, you can't just leave for a week or two. Not that I'm into traveling and doing vacations and stuff like that. But even just getting away for a weekend, you got to set somebody up to do the chores, and if something happens while they're looking after your animals, like, you can't turn around and blame them. It's like they're doing the best they can. What if something happened with a cow, or one of the sheep dies, or like, you end up making that person feel bad because they were looking after your stuff. But it's like, yeah, it's just easier to just do it yourself sometimes. So yeah, we haven't done a bunch of recreational time off just because the demands of how we set up our life here. But I'm okay with that. Like, I don't need to go places or see people. I like being at home. I like being here. I don't need to go out there. So even trip in the city, it's always not stressful, just aggravating. The traffic, the congestion, again, people not following through. You got guys say, yeah, I'll be here at such and such a time. Just come over and show up. They're not there, or whatever. That I can't. It's not that I can't handle it. My tolerance has gone so low for that kind of behavior. So you do that to me, you don't get a second chance. You're essentially done. So I'm not gonna chase people around, continually follow up if you're not gonna do what you said you were gonna do. And that's that. So I think we'll call this one just about done. Yeah, we've been going almost an hour and a half. Thank you guys for coming. I'm surprised there's still anybody watching. Watch me drink coffee and bitch about life. I got time for one more smoke. It'd be like, I didn't bring my laptop here. How do I comment on this? Can I do that? Can I make comments? Oh, here, let's try this. One step at a time. Haven't taken a break in years either. We have a buyer for the old house now too. Well, there you go. Yeah, I've kind of been structuring my lifestyle that I don't require those breaks to get away from it, because this is where I want to be doing what I'm doing. I don't have that 9-to-5 grind that I'm trying to escape. I'm not trying to escape from what I'm doing. I'm doing what I want to be doing. Not in the context of selling my house and moving, but the purpose of this property was to do all the things I wanted to try, the farming, hobby farming, and working on stuff and projects and all that kind of stuff. So I don't need a break from that. It's nice to go visit with people you haven't seen in a while. That's always nice, but that gets pretty old pretty quickly. I'm not Yeah, maybe I'm just completely antisocial now. I don't know. But here I am talking with you guys. Is this it? Is this how community and relationships are done now? All online? Like, I appreciate this a ton. Like, this is great just hanging out with you guys. Shooting the shit and talking whatever, the show about nothing. So I don't know. I don't think we're going back to the way things were pre-internet. I don't think we're going back to the way things were pre-AI. The rooster disagrees. But there we have it. Wednesday morning. Raindrops falling again. This is wild. Like, they don't forecast rain, but it just rains whenever it feels like it. Raining again. Just a few drops. Phone therapy. Phone therapy, electronic addiction. Wild stuff, man. But yeah, I've been seeing a few interesting videos on YouTube having to do with just, yeah, these global trends or these societal trends. How we're drifting away from old-timey way of interacting and engaging. I think it's more than something in the jet stream. Something in the mental stream. It's like people, I have a hard time interacting with people just in everyday life. Like, they just behave, act, think differently. Maybe it is all this gadgetry and technology. Human silicon chip hybrids of a sort. But the communities I do find online, they're fun to be a part of. I truly do appreciate having access to that with a Wi-Fi hookup or a data connection through your phone. Just guzzle it, yes. Well, shall we take a walk back over the tractor, see if that battery's got enough to try to fire it back into life. We'll give it one more try. I'll probably pull it off, try to charge it up, and then still probably have to boost it. So I'm pretty sure that battery got frozen. Yeah, that's not happening. Feel some heat going through this cable. I should just unhook everything. So. Give me a second. There you go. I'm not going to fight with that battery all morning, or what's left of the morning. Let's see what the comments are doing. The chatters are up to here. Assuming my buddy is going to call before he's on his way. But you never know. What did it say here? You got a neighbor that was threatening you. Your wife, kids, you started breaking your fence, driving through your front yard. Yeah. That's a key too, is to have good neighbors. Oh my gosh. The guy behind me is a bit of a delinquent. But the other neighbors around here are really decent, but they're tolerable anyway. There's some really good ones. There's some that don't spend a lot of time with the neighbors around here, but if you've got terrible neighbors, oh my gosh, it just makes your life disaster. So I feel for you. Acre in the woods, that's always good to have a place to go retreat to. Especially that you can call your own. You know, it's one thing to say, well, we'll go camp in the woods or campground or something, but it's your own place. And learn how to make tack carpets for the front yard. Don't know what tack carpets are. Yeah, the police aren't interested in that kind of stuff. Serve and protect who? Not you, not me. Yeah, so what was Bal's comment? Was he on a union break or suggesting I was on a union break? It was a quick break. Just chatted and ghosted us. So there we have it. We'll wind this down in the next couple of minutes. A few more drags on this. Get ready for the rest of my glorious day. I don't think I have any music or vinyl purchases lined up. But that could all... Actually, no, I might stop. We were talking a few weeks ago about that Birds CD collection. It's a 4 CD set. So it's got a bunch of the tracks that Graham Parsons actually sings on, because on the official release they had gone with different vocals to satisfy the record label or the studio or record company, however you want to refer to it. So this one has the original Graham Parsons lyrics from Sweetheart of the Rodeo. So I think I'll go pick that up if it's still there. Should still be there. I was 20 bucks. I think they wanted for that. So I can do that. And it's sort of in the area where I'm going to be anyway. So. Do you have a local junkyard where you could pick up an extra battery cheap? Yeah, there's. Yeah. I just want to get it started. Like once it's running, the generator will keep the engine running. But it's just I need enough battery power to get it started. So if worst comes to worst, I will use the truck battery. I might have some older batteries around here too, but they're probably in the same condition as this one. Just barely working, but I'll put that on a trickle charger because I won't be live streaming until, well, tomorrow at the earliest. Tomorrow's what, Thursday? So I'm picking up that trailer today at the end of the day, bringing it back here. It's a skid steer trailer, so it doesn't have sides on it. I was gonna bang together some sides with, it's got the stakes for 2x4s, so I got 2x4s lying around, and I'll just use some of those doors that are in the barn for sides, just bang it together quick so that I have sides to contain all this stuff. So I can do a live stream tomorrow. That battery will have somewhat of a charge in it. I'll let it charge overnight, or I'll see if it's not charging up, then I might have a spare battery that will do the job. I know there's at least a couple in the shop there, but I did have a decent car battery, but it was a good battery, so I just wanted to sell that one. And what else? Yeah, so I can do something tomorrow, probably around supper time. We can reconvene. For more of this nonsense. And that's about it. So yeah, I got to get a load together. I told the auctioneer I'd have more to bring him on Friday, so we'll see what one trailer load does. Load that up during the day tomorrow and make a trip out there. It's 20 minutes away. And then on Friday, maybe can load up and do a second trip on Friday. So we'll see how quickly it goes. And then there's going to be boxes of hardware and stuff. I'll just take that in the pickup truck. But if I can get 2 big loads hauled over there, that's going to be kind of the majority of everything. Like it's a big long trailer. So so yeah, this place will be transformed once all this stuff is gone. Looking forward to see how it all looks. Mind you, the place was kind of not in this level of debris, and this truly is the Empire of Dirt. I'm referencing an old Johnny Cash song, but there was stuff left behind by the previous owner. There was stuff all over the place. So she never cleaned up when she moved on, but that's because we did the rent to own, and she was doing a lot of things we were doing. So there was lots of animal supplies and not pieces of equipment, but stuff we could utilize here. She left some furniture behind. It's still here. So, but the place is going to be cleaned right out. And it'll be interesting. Well, I mean, it'll be nice to see it just nice and clean, ready for the next owners, which I'm sure they're getting excited day by day. But here we go. Butcher's here. Time to go, people. Have a good one. Bye.